Alright guys, welcome to a new video. We got a lot to talk about because obviously we had this huge move on Bitcoin just now. But first off, let me remind you that we currently got an exclusive bonus for my Bybit referrals going on. So you can get up to like 20% USD bonus, and I'll link this below and you can check it out there. It lasts all the way through October, so you got plenty of time when you see this. Alright, so let's get into it. Bitcoin basically did this massive move right from the futures open. So this was technically not weekend. We do have a tiny gap open, but I think we can disregard it. This is just a tiny amount down back here. So we have basically this huge short squeeze, which pushed up into this 28K area. Now this area is important because obviously the grayscale high was over here. We have this back test over here from the August low. And overall, this has just been a very sticky area. But if price can manage to hold above here and especially close the daily above the 200 MA, which is the purple line, that would be pretty great. And I think also with this level being the weekly 200 MA, which is basically around 28K as well, closing a weekly in here or above here would be even better, and that would basically set us up for like a higher time frame reversal, which hopefully we get here. All in all, we last video we did call for altcoin outperformance for a while, and we did get it. Like a lot of alts moved up maybe 10 to even 30% since then, so that's pretty nice, and I'm happy to be on the correct side of the move in that regard. Because sentiment back then was quite bearish. I think the last video was somewhere recorded down at these lows at 26K. I tweeted out that I was saying like, okay, if we're gonna bottom anywhere, it's gonna be here. And luckily since then we've basically went straight up. Well, not straight up. We had this choppy price action in between, but we have moved up since, so that's pretty nice. To easily journal and track your trades, consider trying out CoinMarketManager. It's as simple as connecting your exchange API to the website to get your analytics ready. Sign up using the link below, get a 14-day trial, and I hope you really enjoy it. I know I've been using it for a while and I can't go without at this point. So yeah, right here I would be like careful on not opening like new longs or anything currently, personally. But I'm definitely looking for dips, and I'm keeping an eye on this daily close today. Like a close above this previous high and the 200 MA would be pretty good and would set us up for higher levels going forward. But we have to keep in mind, like this is technically could still be a bearish retest. Like let's say the daily closes down here, back below this previous high, back below the 200 MA, then it's all gonna look a lot less ideal, and it might just set us up for more ranging in this area roughly in between here. So keep an eye on that. Don't get too excited. Like sure, play the trend if you can, and my focus is definitely on long still, as it was down here as well. But I'm also not looking to like long into resistance just yet. I mean, sure, we're trending up now on this lower time frame, but the higher time frame is technically still down. That could start changing here, of course, but it's not the time yet to just blindly long into everything, I don't think. So keep that in mind. Moving on, this also good to note, by the way. If you already have an account, you can transfer your KYC over to a new account. It takes like 5 minutes. So removing that. Bitcoin dominance, as mentioned, we did move up a bit as BTC moved up, which is usually the case when you get these huge explosive moves. Overall, this is just still ranging a bit here. Like it's mainly determined by what ETH BTC is doing. And ETH BTC has rejected again from this giant falling wedge, which was kind of to be expected. I mean, sure, we had the futures ETF for ETH, but that's nothing too crazy, like nothing we didn't have before. So I don't think that was gonna change a lot. And I do think if BTC starts or keeps going up, we will test these lower range of the falling wedge, and eventually maybe all the way down here. And then onto some interesting altcoins. I think Solana looks pretty good. I mean, obviously we're nearing in on this range high resistance, but I think as long as it can keep these, the daily equivalent MA and EMA, that's a good indication of like a bigger trend shift. And I would assume we attack this level, and if it breaks above, then we can finally start taking out this high from prior to the FTX collapse. Obviously this is a pretty clean level, and I think if we flip this level, this would be a nice trade to attempt, and maybe play it all the way up here. Obviously this is the first target, then this high from July. This is the 23 high from Solana. But eventually I do think this level would be taken out if the market allows it. Arbitrum still following the idea pretty well. Overall, this has just been a clean falling wedge or channel, whatever you want to call it. $1 will be a bit of a resistance, I think, but the main level to watch for will be where this, basically this crossroad between this trend line down and this $1 level. Also, of course, it's a psychological level, this $1. But I think if we can break above here, like similar to this, then this is setting up for a move higher. We got a few possible bullish catalysts coming up in the short term, like we have the EIP 4844 upgrade by Ethereum, which should help layer 2 solutions. And we got Arbitrum grants coming up. There will be proposals for grants out of the Arbitrum treasury into these Arbitrum ecosystem coins. So things like GMX, whatnot, Radiant, those kind of coins, which tends to help those coins and tends to also propel the ecosystem as a whole, which will show more usage, and these incentives tend to work pretty well. I mean, Optimism did it before, and obviously it inflates your stats quite a bit in the short term. Well, it's not completely organic, but it does tend to help gain more adoption and put up the metrics. And of course, people like looking at those, and it tends to help the coin go up as well. Then lastly, a coin which everyone is talking about now is Link. To be honest, I'm just holding this ever since this range retake down here from like 560. Tweeted it out at the time. Well, I tweeted here like, okay, if we get a sweep and we retake it, I'm gonna become a Link Marine for the foreseeable future. Well, that happened, and since then I've just been holding. We did test this level again in August, only last month, but since then it has gradually grinded up. Now, it would be pretty interesting to see if we can finally attempt breaking this range high. I mean, we've been ranging for 1.5 years, so getting there will be pretty crazy after all the time. I mean, we've kept making like lower highs, lower high, lower high. So I would assume there's some stops sitting above these levels. Like they're all tiny lower highs. So I think if this would start breaking into this area up here, then at some point we might get it squeeze higher and we might finally break out. But I mean, this coin is still pretty slow, all things considered. It's still pretty big, but this is something everyone has been watching. So yeah, definitely an interesting one. And let's see if it can break out at some point. I would personally not be like longing once it's up here in this region. But once it breaks above, I think that the road should be pretty clear. Like there's not that much holding it back from there on out. Just be careful. Like let's say we get a breakout and it stalls here and you get a rejection back in, then really be careful, because that means this is basically just a deviation and a way to take out all these stops. And then falling back into it would really just signal a lot of weakness, and then likely this would go back to at least the mid-range and maybe even lower if the market really takes a beating. All right, that's about it for now. So exciting times ahead. I mean, it's important to watch what Bitcoin does from here. Let's hope it can close above this region approximately. Important to not get too ahead of ourselves. I mean, this is a nice move, but I mean, most moves have been retraced. I do think this is a lot stronger in terms of spot bid and all that stuff, October has also historically been a good month, but that doesn't have to say a thing because September has usually been bad. And I mean, this September we did close with a 4% gain. So don't value that too much. Just play the chart, watch level by level, and then go from there. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to check out the link below with the information about the bonuses. And yeah, have a good day. Bye-bye.